From Disneyland to the Super Bowl and not the other way around? How's that for a slice of fried gold?
Find out next on Junk Feud.
Aw, yeah, welcome to Junk Feud, the podcast about junk food, where we rate and review mystery treats to determine which one will be the undisputed champion of snacks. I'm your host, Mike. Alongside me, as always, Alyssa.
Dad.
Yellis.
How does a telephone propose?
How does a telephone propose?
With a ring, ring, ring.
3 rings?
Yeah.
Oh boy. That was a dad joke, a joke you tell to your dad. If you'd like to submit a dad joke for Alyssa to tell me on the show, you can send it in via email to junkfeudpod@gmail.com. Liz.
Yeah.
What's going on, bud?
So today I had camp with my little brother.
Camp with your little brother.
And I got grounded.
Well, yeah. Well, we don't have to talk about that.
Okay.
What kind of camp did you go to?
We went to a mindfulness camp.
A mindfulness camp. What's that?
A mindfulness camp is with my friend's mom, and she does like yoga poses, and we play games, and we have free time, and we just do a lot of breathing.
So it's a lot of stuff to keep you mindful of your body and your surroundings and other people, that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
Here's the most important question about that. What kind of snacks did you eat at mindfulness camp?
I had Doritos.
You had what?
I had Doritos and watermelon.
Oh, spoiler alert. It was hot out there today, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I'm not very good at keeping secrets.
Yeah, well, you know. How hot was it today?
It was pretty hot, but then it rained. It cooled us off.
And it was like still kind of humid and yucky outside?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of the dog days of summer? Have you heard people use that expression before, the dog days of summer?
No.
You've never heard the dog days of summer?
No.
Well, you probably wouldn't because you don't listen to AM radio. It's a kind of thing that like disc jockeys would say, or people that are doing traffic and weather. Dog days of summer is a period of time in like July and August when Sirius, the dog star, is the highest in the sky just before the sun comes out. Mm. And the ancient, I want to say Romans, maybe, use that to signify which days they thought were going to be the hottest days of the year. It were the days of the dog in the summertime. And now we just say dog days of summer. I always thought when I was a kid that it was like you could imagine dogs sitting around and laying on the hot asphalt and panting with their tongue out of their mouth and just sweating all over the place out of their mouths in the way that dogs do. Is that what it sounds like? Yeah, but that's not what Dog Days of Summer is. It's about Sirius, the dog star. Where have you heard the word Sirius before?
In conversations.
Well, Sirius spelled a different way. Sirius.
I thought that's how you spell Sirius.
Which kind of Sirius?
Sirius is Serious.
Correct. And what is Sirius? Sirius.
Sirius Black's as dead as can be.
That's right, Sirius Black. Do you know why he was called Sirius Black?
Because he was a very serious man.
What was his animagus form? He was a
magician.
He was a dog.
Oh.
And Sirius is a dog star, and it's the dog days of summer.
Oh.
Yeah, you get it?
I have a Harry Potter cup right here.
You do. It's on the desk right now. We've had some really good snacks at the Wizarding World of Harry Potter at Universal Studios, haven't we?
Yeah.
I think we're going to do a whole episode about some of those snacks.
When we go back.
What was your favorite snack at the Wizarding World?
Butterbeer.
Butterbeer for sure. How many did you have the last time we were there?
Was it 11?
11 butterbeers in a week? That's too many, probably.
I had a really bad stomach ache.
I would imagine so. Are there other snacks that you like to have when it's super hot out and it's like the depths of summertime? What are some of the things you like to eat for snacks in summertime?
Ice cream.
Ice cream, okay.
But that melts.
Sure.
So I also like to have lemonade.
Lemonade, that's a good one. Like an ice cold lemonade from the boardwalk where they squeeze it fresh right in front of you, put it in those big clear jugs, and then they've got like the half of a lemon inside there. You don't like the fresh squeezed boardwalk lemonade? You like the junk lemonade from a powder?
Yes.
Oh, gross. What else do you like to eat in the summertime? What are some of your favorite summer snacks?
Funnel cake.
Funnel cake is a good one because you get that at like carnivals that are going on during the summertime.
And the boardwalk French fries.
Boardwalk fries, that's another good one.
Crab fries.
Crab fries, great choice.
I'm not sure. What do you like to eat in the summer?
You know what? It's July right now as we're recording this. I don't know when this will come out, but it's July as we're making this. And
probably won't come out until like September.
Hey, come on. We can get it out quicker than that.
We're away the whole August.
And you know what we're going to do?
Yeah.
We're going to eat summer stuff because I'm going to be away for some time. I'm going to eat lots of corn and tomatoes.
That sounds good.
Yeah, because it's corn and tomato season. You know what I had yesterday that's like a thing that I only want to have in July and August is tomato toast. Have you ever had tomato toast?
No, I don't really like tomatoes.
Well, so in July in New Jersey, when the tomatoes are at the height of their power, when they are like the best harvest for the juiciest, ripest tomatoes is going on with the most flavor, they taste amazing. You take a big heirloom tomato that you get from one of the farms, you slice it up into real thick slices, you toast a couple of pieces of real hearty wheat bread, slather them with mayonnaise, a little bit of cracked pepper on the mayonnaise, tomatoes down, salt on top of the tomatoes, and that's it. That's like the whole thing.
That sounds really good.
It is really good.
But
it's
I don't like wheat bread.
Snack.
So I would just have white bread.
Maybe plain white bread.
Yeah.
You know what we do like?
What?
We do like Doritos.
Yes, we do.
Doritos is today's snack. And guess what?
What?
Part of the reason that we do this show, I think we should note right up front, because in each episode we're going to tell a little bit about the origin story of this. Last week we said it was a way for you and I to get to spend some time together and do something fun and creative.
And work out.
And this is the least physically intensive thing I think that we do. There's a show that you're not allowed to listen to that's called Doughboys. Doughboys.
I've heard of it.
You've heard of it because I play it in the car, mostly when you're not around.
The yellow screen with the red and blue guy.
Yeah, that's right. The guy wearing the red and blue flannel shirt on his cartoon, his name is Mitch, and Mitch is a co-host of the show. And Mitch's nickname when he was growing up was the Dorito Kid, so I thought that was appropriate for this week because we were heavily inspired by Doughboys, except for the fact that you weren't inspired by it at all because you're not allowed to listen to it. The goal of this show is to be kind of like a wholesome Doughboys that kids can listen to.
When am I allowed to listen to Doughboys?
How old are you?
11.
You've got at least 7 more years.
7? Can Bella listen to it?
Yeah, she's 18 now. She can listen to it. You know what we're going to talk about this week?
What?
What did we just say?
Doritos.
Doritos. What do you know about Doritos? Without reading the notes.
I definitely don't have notes.
Tell me something interesting that you know about Doritos.
Well, I know that there are a lot of different flavors.
There are lots of different flavors of Doritos. Do you know where Doritos came from? Because I can tell you.
I as I'm looking at definitely not the notes, I am realizing that they are sort of the same deal as Oreos.
That's right. Last week we talked about Oreos. What was the problem with the origin story of Oreos?
They had a bunch of different ones.
Probably like a bunch of different people contributed to the creation of Oreos.
I'm going to have Oreos later now.
Well, we still have to talk about them because they are the reigning champion. Double stuffed Oreos are the reigning, defending, undisputed champion of snacks right now as you wave at a wasp that has flown by.
That's scary.
I think it just left.
It can't leave. The doors are shut.
Well, it'll find something else to do.
Okay.
We talked about the origin of Oreos last time. There were competing Oreos origin stories. Oreo origin stories. That's hard to say. Try it out. Oreo origin stories. Oreo origin stories.
Oreo origin stories.
Oreo origin stories.
Oreo origin stories.
There are 2 different potential origin stories for Doritos. Creation myths.
Yeah.
You know what one of them is because we said it in the cold open. Where might have Doritos been invented?
Disneyland.
Disneyland in California. There was this guy. His name was Arch West. Arch West was a marketing executive for Frito-Lay. He had served in the Navy. He was in the Pacific during World War II. Then he was a traveling cheese salesman. What would a traveling cheese salesman do?
I want to do that.
How do you imagine a traveling cheese salesman might work?
This is what I imagine. I imagine Popeye on a boat with a big wheel of cheese.
Popeye?
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
Like the sailor man.
Yeah.
He's traveling on a boat with cheese, and he just like cuts it and throws it out to people.
He throws cheese to people from a boat, a Navy sailor, because Arch West was in the Navy.
Like that new trend where you like slice the cheese and slap it on someone.
I'm sorry, there's a new trend where you slice cheese and slap it on somebody?
Yeah, there was a Ring neighborhood alert that someone cheesed someone's mailbox in their car.
Oh boy. We might have to do that on an episode of Alyssa Explains It All, because I have no idea what's up with that.
Okay.
Anyway, Arch West came back from the war. He joined the Frito Company, which later merged with Lay's and merged again with Pepsi. And that's what we have PepsiCo and Frito-Lay and all of those different corporate brands that are arranged under a large snack conglomerate. So there are two different tellings of the origin story for Doritos and Arch West. And one that was identified in the New York Times was that Arch West was on a family vacation in San Diego and he found some fried tortilla chips at a roadside shack and he brought them back to work. So that was the one place that Arch West might have found fried tortilla chips. And then the other one, which has become the more popular one, I think because it's more interesting, whether it's true or not, this was identified in the Washington Post, was that Arch West was at a restaurant in Disneyland called Casa de Fritos. It's still there. It doesn't have that name anymore. Casa de Fritos. What does that mean in Spanish?
I like Fritos.
No, not even close. Frito House. House of Fritos.
That sounds good.
Yeah. Casa de Fritos is not named that anymore, but it's still there. It's called Rancho del Zocalo.
Rancho del Zocalo.
And what these guys were doing was they were taking leftover tortillas that they hadn't served.
And seasoning them.
Yeah, instead of throwing them away because they didn't want to have food waste and food cost, they would cut them into chips and fry them up and put some seasoning on them. And Arch West was in Disneyland early on. He had some of these tortilla chips. He thought they were great. He made a deal with the local tortilla supplier in 1964. And by 1966, they were out in the market. He had brought them to the larger American market list.
Yeah.
What else was going on in 1966? Anything you know about?
The Vietnam War.
What do you know about the Vietnam War?
Muhammad Ali? Oh, that's not about the Vietnam War. I don't know what the Vietnam War was.
Yeah, it's probably better that way. We won't talk about that.
Okay.
Muhammad Ali was what in 1966?
A heavyweight boxing champion.
Heavyweight boxing champion of the world. He's probably the greatest boxer of all time. You know that canvas photo in your brother's room of the two boxers?
Yes, I do know about that painting.
So there's a canvas photograph in your brother's room, and there's a guy who's laying out on the canvas, completely knocked out. That's not Muhammad Ali. Ali's the other guy. He was the guy that won that fight.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Greatest of all time. He'll tell you.
Can I say the next thing?
Yeah, sure.
Batman was on TV.
Batman was on TV. The Batmobile is right above me in this room on the shelf. The 1966 Batmobile. And Adam West's Batman.
Can I say the next thing too?
Yeah.
Star Trek went to the final frontier.
Star Trek went to the final frontier. Do you know what Star Trek is?
Yes.
What is Star Trek?
It's a movie.
There are some Star Trek movies, yes. That's not what it's best known for.
And a Disney World ride.
Oh, that's Star Wars. Oh, you are making a lot of internet enemies right now.
They have a Star Trek ride in Paris.
No, there is not a Star Trek ride at Disney anywhere in the world.
Really?
Really, 100%.
Oh, it wasn't a ride. It was okay. Never mind. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if that was offensive to anyone.
Internet nerds get very angry when you confuse Star Trek and Star Wars.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, apologize to the nerds.
I'm so sorry, nerds.
Guess what?
What?
I'm one of those nerds.
Oh, Dad, I'm sorry.
What was invented in 1966?
The mini skirt.
The mini skirt.
Which my mom would yell at me.
If you wore.
Yeah.
Correct. Who became the governor of California in 1966?
Ronald Reagan.
Ronald Reagan, the actor?
What?
Do you know what that's from?
No.
Back to the Future?
Rick and Morty.
Who's president in 1985? No, not Rick and Morty.
What did I say, Rick and Morty?
Well, Rick and Morty is loosely based on Marty and Doc.
That's what I meant. Marty.
Rick and Morty, Doc and Marty.
Oh.
You get it?
Yeah.
Do you want to hear something weird that happened in 1966? Right here in the state of New Jersey?
What?
There was a Veterans Affairs hospital that was conducting some tests, and they made beagles, like dogs, like the Snoopy dogs, beagles. Mm-hmm. You know Snoopy from Peanuts?
Snoopy. I have a shirt of Snoopy on top of a house.
Yeah, a dog house.
During Christmas.
Well, Snoopy's a beagle, and a VA hospital in New Jersey made some beagles smoke cigarettes.
What?
Isn't that weird?
Did they die?
Well, they all died eventually. They were dogs, but...
Did they die from that?
I don't know. We'll have to read the study.
Probably.
Anyway, in 1966, when all of those things were going on, Arch West brought Doritos to the greater American market. He is so tied to the Doritos brand. Those two things are so inseparable, Arch West and Doritos, that in his obituaries in the New York Times and the Washington Post after he died in 2011 at the age of 97.
That's really old.
That's really old. It's pretty good considering that he ate Cool Ranch Doritos regularly and like up until the moment of his death.
If I did that, I would be dead right now.
Well, it was noted that after Arch West passed away, his daughter said that the mourners, the people at his funeral, they threw crushed up Dorito chips onto his grave as a way to pay their respects to him.
Wouldn't that rot?
Well, they're biodegradable.
Really?
Yeah, well, yeah, the casket's going to go into the ground and the Doritos are going into the ground as well.
Oh.
And the last line of his obituary in the Washington Post, this is wild, was ashes to ashes, crunch to crunch.
That's not on the bag. That would be a good thing to say.
What kind of, we'll save this for the segment, but if you were going to market a new kind of Doritos and the tagline was going to be ashes to ashes, crunch to crunch, what flavor would they be?
Really spicy, probably.
Like a super spicy, kill you kind of heat.
We should create that.
You should create the ashes to ashes, crunch to crunch Doritos?
Yes.
Well, you can probably write a letter to PepsiCo. Do people write letters anymore?
They wrote...
Do they teach you cursive in school?
I known it from 3rd grade.
3rd grade they taught you cursive?
Yep.
I guess that's not bad. You'll never ever use it in your entire life.
Shout out to Miss Warehand.
Shout out to Miss Warehand. You wrote the next note on here about an early television commercial for Doritos.
Yeah. Oh, yes. It was called a swinging, like, the Doritos called it a swinging, like, Latin sort of snack.
Yeah, what would a Latin sort of snack be?
I don't know.
Like something from Latin America?
That's in America?
Well, Latin America is a number of South and Central American countries and possibly Mexico as well. Latin American countries mostly speak Spanish.
Oh.
Doritos is an amalgamation of a number of different Spanish words.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what it is? Do you know what the word Doritos means?
No.
No?
No. Oh, yes. It was a Spanish word for gold.
Yeah. What's the Spanish word for gold? We talked about this last week with Oreos too, because Oreos, the name Oreos might have been derived from the Spanish word for gold also.
Oro.
Oro, very good. And then the diminutive suffix when you want to say that something is small in Spanish?
Ito.
Ito. So Doritos are what?
Small chips.
Little golden fried things, little pieces of gold. So in the 60s, when Doritos advertising, probably headed up by Arch West, was calling the snack a swinging Latin sort of snack. Do you know what Mad Men is, the television show Mad Men?
Mm-mm.
Mad Men was a show about advertising executives in New York City on Madison Avenue in the, 50s, 60s, 70s, that kind of era. And they're the ones that probably would have used some, ethnically charged language, like calling Doritos a swinging Latin sort of snack. Have you ever heard old people talk about that kind of stuff, like old radio commercials or television commercials?
I've heard you talk about it.
How do they sound?
They're like...
Well, yeah, that's like bad reception on a radio. What did the people sound like?
Ah, da, da, da.
What kinds of things might they have said about Doritos in those voices?
They are great little snacks.
Great swinging Latin snacks?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just like that.
If you had to pitch a commercial in the 1960s for Junk Feud, and you had to use your old-timey voice, what would it sound like?
Junk Feud, an amazing podcast. Go stream right now.
That's not bad. Your voice was... Yeah, there it is. It's a little bit crackly. Do you know what the first flavor of Doritos was?
Nacho cheese.
That's a good guess, but no.
Oh, no. Wasn't it like faint cheese?
Faint cheese?
That's what I say.
No. Well, the first Doritos weren't flavored at all. They were toasted corn flavored. They were just corn fried tortilla chips.
Knock off Tostitos.
Well, I don't know about that. We'll have to see when we do Tostitos to see which snack came first. But they were just plain fried tortilla chips. There were just 3 ingredients: corn, vegetable oil, and salt.
We should
What
make
are those?
them.
What are those 3 things? Corn, vegetable oil, and salt. What might you get from 3 things like that?
A bliss point.
Bliss point: sugar, fat, and salt. Natural sugars in corn, fat from the vegetable oil, and salt, of course. A year later, in 1967, we had taco-flavored Doritos. You ever had those?
Mm-mm.
They're
Those
pretty
sound
good.
good, though.
They're very good.
Are they still out?
Oh, yeah, you can get them. I saw them at Walmart the other day.
Oh, we should get them.
I think we're going to have to try those. One snack we're going to try today, Nacho cheese Doritos, like you said, they came out in 1972. And then what was after that?
Cool Ranch.
Cool Ranch Doritos in 1986. So I was actually around for the invention of Cool Ranch Doritos, and you're going to be surprised, but I remember it.
When did the purple Doritos come out?
Are those spicy sweet chili?
Yeah, I like those.
I don't know. We'll have to look that up. It was sometime afterwards. But in 1986, Cool Ranch Doritos came out, and that was kind of like a big deal. I remember my mom, your grandma, coming home from the grocery store with Cool Ranch Doritos and like sitting me down and saying, these are new. You have to try them. And
were they like the best thing ever?
They were like the best thing ever. I remember just being amazed by how good they were and how probably bad they were for me, which, well, that part I didn't really care.
I don't think Grandma cared at that point either.
Yeah, you know what? You're probably right. She gave us a lot of crap as when we were kids.
Same like you.
That's not true. You eat lots of good stuff.
But that's because I like vegetables. I like vegetables and fruit.
Yeah. It looks like Spicy Sweet Doritos came out in 2008.
Long time after.
What else happened in 2008? Do you know?
Bella turned...
Oh my gosh.
6.
Wrong.
4.
She was 4. The Phillies won the World Series in 2008.
Oh, that's really cool, actually.
Yeah, and your mom and I got married.
In 2008?
In 2008.
Which means you had your anniversary in 2009.
Our first one, that's correct.
And your honeymoon in 2008.
Yeah, you're right. In 2008.
So smart.
2008, those Spicy Sweet Doritos came out. Spicy Sweet Chili Doritos. There are... If you look around the world, more than 100 different varieties of Doritos, just like you said.
What do you think are more? More Doritos or more Oreos?
Well, I think we counted about 132 or so varieties of Oreos. I think there are probably more Oreos than there are Doritos. Have you heard about some of the weirder Doritos flavors? Mm-mm. Check about some of these.
Check about this.
Check about this.
Check about this.
After Dark Last Call Kebab Doritos. That's a lot of words.
Is that like a barbecue flavor?
It's like a kebab flavor, so probably it has like a shawarma taste, so maybe some cumin and some other kinds of spices in it.
I'm assuming you haven't had this.
I haven't had those, no. Gold Peking Duck.
That sounds good.
I also haven't had those. They're probably pretty good. Late Night All-Nighter Cheeseburger.
Ooh, that sounds really good.
Guess what?
What?
Arch West actually got to try those. He took one bite and spit it out. He hated them.
Really?
Yeah. There were pepper bacon Doritos. Tangy pickle Doritos.
Absolutely not.
You don't like pickle chips.
What is up with all the wasabi flavored chips?
And wasabi flavored Doritos, just like there were wasabi flavored Oreos last week that we talked about.
Yikes.
Here's a question, Liz.
Yeah.
With all of these different types of Doritos, more than 100 varieties, when someone says, I want some regular Doritos.
Nacho cheese.
You think immediately of nacho cheese? Mm-hmm. The red bag. Red Doritos are regular for you. Mm-hmm. You know what's funny? I think if you ask a lot of people, they're going to default to that and they're going to say the red bag of Doritos, nacho cheese, are regular Doritos. They're not actually, of course. It was the toasted corn flavor that was original and about as close to regular as you can get.
That's just what everyone knows, though. Like, that's what everyone thinks.
I think that's true. They're probably the most popular. And in fact, Doritos are the most popular snack chip in the entire world. Oreos were the world's most popular cookie, and Doritos are the world's most popular chip.
Not surprised.
I'm not surprised either. I don't think that nacho cheese Doritos are regular Doritos. I always call them nacho cheese or the red bag or red Doritos.
I call them red Doritos.
Yeah, you call them red Doritos. Your brother calls them red Doritos. Do you remember Doritos 3Ds?
Yeah, I do not like those for some reason.
Well, I think that's because you remember the latest incarnation of those, which was the re-release from, I don't know, was it last summer or 2 summers ago? Something like that. And I don't think they're very good. But in the late 90s and early 2000s, the original Doritos 3Ds came out. They were puffed snacks. They looked like they looked like little puffy,
they're just little
small triangles.
Yeah, we had them.
Well, the ones that we had are more like bugles. You know, the bugles, corn snacks, the ones you put on your fingers to look like you have witch fingernails.
That's not the ones I ate.
Those are bugles, and the new Doritos 3Ds, they look kind of like bugles. But the original 3Ds were completely enclosed on all sides. They had a flavor called a jalapeno cheddar.
That sounds kind of good.
They were really good. I used to make, when I was in college, I would make taquitos in the toaster oven.
Ooh.
Yep. And I would take a little bite of one end of the taquito so that some of the gooey cheese would be exposed. And then I would poke the taquito down onto a Doritos 3D so that it would stick on the end of the taco. And then I would take a bite that had Dorito and taquito in it together.
That sounds good.
And it was a way to eat them without getting all the Doritos flavor dust on my fingers. They were really good. Do you eat Doritos any weird way? I remember last week you told us about Oreos and you like to eat them with a fork so that you don't get your fingers messy when you dunk them in milk.
I don't really eat them any weird way, I don't think.
You just take the whole bag and just shove them into your mouth as quickly as possible?
No, I kind of take one chip and then bite it and then finish.
One chip at a time?
Yeah.
Yeah. My cousin used to take a bag of Cool Ranch Doritos. This was mind-boggling to me when I was a kid. She would dump all the Doritos out onto the table. Then she would lick the powder off of every one of them and she would put the naked chips back into the bag. And when she was done, she would fold up the bag and put it back on the shelf like nothing had happened. She licked all the flavor dust off of all the Doritos. It was so gross. I think my favorite is when you get a chip that's just completely covered with that flavor dust powder that's so dark and thick because of a manufacturing defect or an error of something. I will hunt through an entire bag just to find those. I think they're the best.
I'll do that too.
You would totally do that too, wouldn't you?
Yeah. I know this kind of sounds disgusting, but you know the nacho cheese dip from Tostitos?
Yeah.
I like taking a little bowl of that, warming it up, and I'd like Doritos with that.
Doritos, nacho cheese Doritos, and actual nacho cheese? Mm-hmm. Here's a question for you. What is nacho cheese?
It is nachos.
It's not my cheese. Yeah. Congratulations on becoming the first person ever to make that joke, Alyssa.
Thank you.
No, seriously, when someone tells you something is nacho cheese flavored, what flavor do you think it is? What is nacho cheese?
Sort of tastes like cheddar, but it's spicy.
Sort of like a spicier, tangier cheddar? Mm-hmm. Well, you'll be happy to know there is no official definition for nacho cheese.
Oh.
It's not one of those things
that is definitely the definition.
Well, it's your definition now, I guess, and it's ours too. Yeah, there is no official definition of nacho cheese. It's not regulated in any way. There's not any special thing that nacho cheese has to be and able to be called nacho cheese.
I think it's very good, though.
When Doritos makes their nacho cheese for their nacho cheese flavor, it's a combination of cheddar and Romano cheeses and maybe some other things as well.
Can we eat them now?
We're almost there. We're almost there. Before we eat our nacho cheese Doritos, I want to talk about something that we mentioned up front.
What?
We talked about going from Disneyland to the Super Bowl. You've watched the Super Bowl, yes? You watch football?
They have lots of ads for Doritos.
There are lots of ads for Doritos in the playoffs and in the Super Bowl. In fact, Doritos has gone out of its way to sponsor lots of sporting events. Do you know that there was a Doritos commercial that was beamed into space?
What?
Yeah, beamed into space. We talked about...
What does that mean?
Well, I'm going to tell you in just a moment. We talked about Sirius the dog star. Mm-hmm. Stars are very far away from Earth, many, many light years away. There is a constellation called Ursa Major. You've heard of this, yes?
Yeah.
The Ursa Major constellation.
Wait, what? No.
Okay. There's a star in the Ursa Major constellation that's 42 light years away from Earth.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of light years away from Earth.
It's pretty far. A light year is how far light can travel in a year.
Yeah.
The speed of light for a whole year. So it's very, very far away. There was a Doritos commercial that was beamed into space because there are some planets around that star in Ursa Major where intelligent life might be because the conditions are sort of in the zone for intelligent life. Do you think, Alyssa, this is an important question.
What?
If there is an intelligent life somewhere out there in space.
What's an intelligent life?
A species of living things, kind of like humans.
What?
Aliens, Liz. We're talking about aliens.
Oh.
If there are aliens somewhere in space.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Do you think they would like Doritos, and what would their favorite flavor be?
I gotta think for some time.
Okay. Why don't you take a break and think about what the favorite flavor of Doritos for an alien might be?
It definitely wouldn't be nacho cheese.
You don't?
I don't see it.
You don't think that aliens would like nacho cheese?
I don't think they would like the Cool Ranch either.
Or a Cool Ranch, wow.
It's just they would be like...
That's what aliens sound like?
Yeah.
Your aliens sound suspiciously like your old-timey radio announcers and ad men.
Oh, then we gotta switch that up.
Does that sound that you just made in the alien language mean, yes, I watched the Super Bowl and yes, I loved your Doritos commercial?
No.
Well, Doritos has been pretty synonymous with the Super Bowl and some of those commercials. There are many, many memorable commercials since the mid-1990s. Some of those were made by Doritos fans themselves. Do you remember some of those Doritos commercials?
I remember one of this football guy. He's holding it, and he's like pointing to it, and it's just triangle upside down. He's just holding it and looking at it and pointing to it and just nodding his head.
There was one that I liked where there was a pregnant woman. She was in the delivery room. She was trying to give birth to the baby. The dad walked in. He was holding a bag of Doritos, and the baby flew out of the mother so that he could grab the Doritos.
Can we watch that?
Well, yeah, not right now, but we can watch it after this for sure.
Okay.
That was a good one. I think we should mention here, and this is also important.
What?
Doritos has had some misses in the advertising arena.
Well, hasn't everyone?
Well, yeah, but not every commercial is great. One miss that they had was something that they talked about a while ago on the Freakonomics podcast. Freakonomics is a podcast hosted by a professor and a writer. They wrote a series of books called Freakonomics, which was sort of like pop psychology and economics smushed together. Anyway, there was an executive from the PepsiCo company. She went on the Freakonomics podcast and she claimed that some market research that Doritos had done showed that men and women ate Doritos differently. How do you think a girl might eat a Dorito differently than a boy? I
feel like boys just shove it in.
Boys just shove Doritos in their mouths, and do girls not do that? I mean, you do.
No, I bite it.
You bite it very demurely?
Yes.
Very femininely?
But I hold it like that almost. It's like thumb on pointer, middle finger under my thumb.
So you kind of hold it like a guitar pick almost?
Yeah.
Well, what the PepsiCo executive said was that women didn't like loud crunching. They didn't like to lick flavor dust off of their fingers.
I love doing that.
I know. And this is crazy. They wanted the snacks to fit neatly into their purses.
I'm going to leave now.
Does any of that sound reasonable to you?
No.
No, it's pretty crazy. And everyone online called them out for it. Doritos had to issue a statement that there already were Doritos for women, and they were just called Doritos.
What?
They were saying that they weren't going to make Doritos for women. There were already Doritos, and Doritos exist for everyone, regardless of how they identified.
Good idea.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it is way too late for me to process all of this at one time.
So that was a big miss on the advertising side for Doritos. Do you know what one of their biggest hits was? I hope that you do, because you love these. Liz, I'm talking specifically about Taco Bell Doritos Locos Tacos.
I love those.
They come in both nacho cheese and Cool Ranch flavors, and from time to time some others as well. Spicy nacho, I think.
Those are the best.
They were created after 3 years of collaboration between Taco Bell and Frito-Lay.
But if you just taste the taco shell of the Dorito, they taste much different.
They do taste much different, but the whole
it is so
taco.
Good. Can we get those tomorrow, actually?
No, I don't know about that. We'll see. This is a lot different than when Arch West claimed to have discovered Doritos either on the side of the road or at Disneyland, where that was like one man picking up something that he saw and convincing, by way of probably some shrewd marketing, a whole bunch of people to like that idea. This was one of more than 30 ideas that was jotted down during an ideation session between the two companies, Taco Bell and Frito-Lay. And there have been many claims over the years that many different people might have pitched the idea over the course of almost decades now. And the company itself, the PepsiCo company, has not granted credit to any single individual for the invention of Taco Bell Doritos Locos Tacos. So they're not saying that any one person was responsible for this. It was a team effort, probably, between a number of different people, where many, many ideas were generated over sessions, and this is what they settled on. And guess what?
What?
They had a hit on their hands, Liz. They sold about 100 million Taco Bell Doritos Locos Tacos in the first 2 months.
I will be 100 million and one.
100 million and one. Guess what?
What?
It is now time for, with apologies to Claire Saffitz, my favorite part of the show.
What?
Alyssa reads the ingredients.
Oh. Is it your favorite because I can't pronounce anything?
That's part of it, yeah.
Okay. Which one are we doing?
Let's start with nacho cheese Doritos. You're kind of giving away the run-in here, kid. Go ahead. Nacho cheese Doritos. Let's read the ingredients. Go.
Okay. Corn, vegetable oil, sunflower, canola, and or corn oil, maltodextrin, made from corn, lots of corn, and less than 2% of the following: salt, cheddar cheese, milk, cheese clusters, salt, enzymes, whey, monosodium glutamate, buttermilk, Romano cheese, part skim cow's milk. Oh, I already read that. My bad. Cow's milk, cheese clusters, salt, enzymes, whey protein concentrate, onion powder, corn flour, natural and artificial flavor, dextrose tomato powder, lactose spices, artificial color, yellow 6, yellow 5, red 40, lactic acid, citric acid, sugar, garlic powder, skim milk, red and green bell pepper powder, disodium inosinate, disodium guanylate, potassium chloride, and sodium caseinate.
Liz, that's a lot of ingredients.
Oh my goodness.
That's a lot more than the original 3 ingredients, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a lot more than corn, vegetable oil, and salt.
Yeah.
You know what I noticed in there?
What?
You said the words monosodium glutamate. Do you know what monosodium glutamate is?
I've heard of it.
It's MSG.
Oh, yes.
What do you know about MSG?
That a lot of people are allergic to it.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that claim to have allergic reactions to MSG. And here's something interesting that I found. Because MSG is making a bit of a comeback now. For a long time, based on a letter that was published in the New England Journal of Medicine in 1968, lots of people were afraid of monosodium glutamate, of MSG. There was a letter that was published, like I said, in the New England Journal of Medicine, and it blamed heart palpitations on eating at Chinese restaurants, and it coined the phrase Chinese restaurant syndrome. For a long time, lots of people were afraid to eat at Chinese restaurants, and Chinese restaurants, in a reactionary measure, would cut out all MSG from their cooking, or at least claim to. They would put big signs up in their windows and print it on their bags and have storefront advertisements that said that they did not use MSG at all. Here was the thing. There is some evidence based on an interview that the letter in the journal was a fake. Can you believe that?
What?
A Philadelphia surgeon had a friend, and he bet his friend $10 that he could get any letter that he wanted to published in the New England Journal of Medicine, which is a very prestigious academic journal. And so he did. He wrote a fake letter under a fake name claiming to be a Chinese doctor that said that MSG caused heart palpitations and headaches and limb numbness and all sorts of other things. There were some early studies that described a link between MSG and some negative health outcomes, but they all had pretty serious flaws. And today, the Food and Drug Administration in the United States recognizes MSG as generally safe, and you can't really find any legitimate evidence of this thing called Chinese restaurant syndrome if you read well-designed studies. It was mostly sort of a vaguely racist takedown on Chinese food. The best justification I could find for all this was a guy named Jeffrey Steengarten, who's on the Food Network and is a food critic and writer, and he summed it up pretty succinctly. Why doesn't everybody in China have a headache, Liz, if MSG causes headaches?
Because it's probably not true.
Yeah, it's probably not true. And guess what? A lot of those people that claim to be very, very sensitive to MSG probably eat Doritos and don't know that they're eating MSG.
And they probably want attention.
Yeah, and you know what? MSG is delicious. It tastes really good. It's one of the things that makes Doritos taste good. So here are the rules of the game, Alyssa. Are you ready?
Yes. I already know the rules of the game, but explain.
Yep. Junk Feud is a culinary clash to see which treat will be crowned the undisputed champion of snacks. It's a king of the mountain style battle in which the reigning champ takes on a new challenger each week to see which snack reigns supreme. And who is our current reigning, defending, undisputed world heavyweight champion of snacks?
The double stuff Oreo.
The double stuff Oreo has been champion for 1 week. This is its first title defense, and today we are going to try nacho cheese Doritos. Your brother calls them red Doritos. Yimbo calls them regular Doritos. You just told me that you call them regular Doritos.
I call them red Doritos.
Red Doritos also?
Yeah.
But wait.
What?
Alyssa.
What?
A new challenger has emerged.
What?
It's another three-way dance.
Oh, no.
All right. We're going to try Cool Ranch Doritos too. I think if you do red Doritos, you have to do blue Doritos too. We are going to settle once and for all which is the superior chip. Liz.
What?
It's crunch time. That's fun to say. You do it.
It's crunch time.
We rate our snacks using a tier list from sprinkles to fun dips.
Sprinkles to fun dip.
Snacks can be graded A, B, C, D, or F. The very best treats earn the elusive S tier ranking. The following contest. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. You want to say your thing?
I was going to say sprinkles.
Sprinkles. Or snack.
Sprinkles.
Snack.
Sprinkles.
The following contest is scheduled for one serving and is for the undisputed championship of junk food.
Packaging.
Let's check out the packaging.
Smell, sound, and taste.
Yeah, we're going to try them out. We're going to see what's going on here.
Here's another.
So you've got the red bag.
You've
got the red bag, and I've got the blue bag.
ASMR with Alyssa.
All right, just open your bag.
I can't open it. Oh. It all sprayed up.
You got a Dorito flavor dust bath there?
Oh, yeah.
So you can tell me what they smell like then.
They smell like artificial flavor.
You know what's funny? There wasn't a lot of artificial flavor on the bag that you noticed. There were a lot of cheese and cheese culture ingredients.
Wait, I need to search for the best one.
So immediately, let's take a look at the packaging while you're looking for the best Dorito.
Okay. It has a, flame-looking thing.
Yeah. Bright red bag with a big triangle on it representing the chip, the word Doritos right across, and then some very stylized, very enlarged to show texture chips right on the
They
front.
actually kind of look pretty sized.
Yeah, you're right. They kind of do look like almost the right size.
Let's see. We're going to measure it out.
You know, Doritos had an advertisement.
Oh, wait. It's the exact same shape.
It is the exact same shape and size. Do you know, Liz, that very recently, like within the past couple decades, Doritos did a total redesign on the size and shape of their chips? They made them thinner. They made them...
I was about to eat it.
They rounded the edges instead of having them sharp. When I was a kid, Doritos had really sharp edges. Can you believe that?
Really?
Yeah.
But they're curvy now.
Yeah, they're a little bit curvier now. You can try one out if you like.
Okay.
While you're crunching away on that, I will mention... Oh, I'm sorry.
Dad,
you want to do the crunch?
It's crunch time.
It is
Come
crunch
on.
time. Go ahead. That was a good crunch. It is important to mention as we talk about the packaging that Doritos had an advertising campaign recently where they did not say or show the name of the product in the commercial. And the gist of it was that the Doritos branding was so well known that they didn't even have to, that you knew just from the shape of the snack, the color of the bag, the outline of the printing, what exactly was inside those bags. And you won another one. Go ahead.
What? That's not a good one. That's a curved one. Here we go. Look. Like that.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. I am going to say right off the bat, there is a very intense
Smell.
nacho cheese.
And that went right up my nose.
Like, I want to say artificial and chemical, but it's not. It's just the aroma of nacho cheese Doritos. It's a very strong smell. Let's try one out.
I've already have.
Yeah, I know. You're on your second or third one.
Second.
I'm going to crunch. Wow, these are intensely flavored. There is a lot going on in a Dorito. That's why it has all of those ingredients. And here's something to note about the bliss point of Doritos, the thing we talk about a lot on this show.
I'm just going to have the bag.
Sugar, fat, and salt. Things that make your brain want your body to eat more. They are literally addictive. It's the same types of chemical reactions that go on in your brain when you're addicted to any type of drug, anything that you put in your body. There are certain types of acids that are added to Doritos that literally make your mouth water for real. So when people say this is a mouth-watering snack, there are things that are put into these types of food that are designed specifically to make your mouth water. And you are just crunching away over there. So I think you've got a pretty good idea of how you feel about nacho cheese Doritos. But guess what?
What?
It is not a three-way dance until we introduce the third challenger. And here are Cool Ranch Doritos, all the way from 1986.
You have to lick the fingers after.
Did you get a bunch of Cheeto dust? Uh-oh. I made a faux pas
Do
there.
not talk about Cheetos during this.
We're not going to talk about Cheetos during this, but at some point, we will talk about Cheetos on this show. And if Doritos win the championship, they may end up facing down against Cheetos, and we would see whose orange flavor dust reigns supreme.
Ooh.
But let's try some Cool Ranch Doritos while we're waiting.
I think I already have my opinion. Wait.
So I'm going to say I like the blue bag better than the red bag, just because I like blue better than red. And I think the contrast of the blue
I do like
the bag.
I like the blue bag better, but the red bag kind of sticks out more.
Yeah, I think the blue bag with the red triangle on it looks like Superman's outfit. And I think that's what draws me to it.
You are way too attached to childhood.
Listen, kid. It's in your genes. There's no way you can escape it now. The smell is less intense, but it's a bit more mellow. It's like it's sort of smoother.
Oh, I found
like
the best
almost
one already.
creamier. No, don't take that one. That's the one I was looking at.
You can have it just because that's what you're talking about.
All right. Oh, yeah, this is a good one.
Wait.
Lots of green flecks, lots of red flecks on this one.
Wait,
it's
just
not a complete chip. It's a little bit
I
broken.
need to shake it around for a second.
Oh, my goodness.
That really was the best one
Well,
in the
guess
bag.
what? I'm eating this one.
Ooh, I found a good one.
Oh, wow. Even though the smell is not as upfront as the nacho cheese Doritos, I think the taste is punchier on these. They don't taste saltier, but they taste tangier, I think, to me. They taste more flavorful. I don't know what flavor Cool Ranch is. I mean, it's ranch, ostensibly, right? Like ranch dressing.
Doesn't taste like that.
Yeah, I think it's got a lot of the same kinds of flavors in it. Onion powder, garlic powder, sugar, MSG, cheddar cheese.
Wait,
Buttermilk.
28 grams of sugar per serving?
Where do you see that? No, 28 grams of chips in a serving.
Oh.
The total size of the serving is 28 grams. That's 12 chips. 150 calories in 12 chips. That's not too bad. I mean, it is bad, but all things considered.
Flamin' Hot Doritos. Those are so good.
Flamin' Hot Doritos are good. Spicy Nacho Doritos are good. Cool Ranch, I think, are...
I don't like
Incredible.
the spicy Cool Ranch.
You didn't like the Flamin' Hot Cool Ranch Doritos? Oh, I thought those were great. I ate an entire bag of them. So, Liz, we talked about it earlier. Let's hit the bliss point. We need to rate these snacks. We've tried them both. We've taken a look at the packaging, the smell, the sound, the taste. What do you think? Nacho cheese Doritos, from sprinkles to Fun Dip. Where do you rate them?
Sprinkles.
You are calling nacho cheese Doritos, red Doritos, S tier.
No. A++.
There is no A++, but I guess there could be. So you're saying A++.
Yeah, it's like
Wow.
about... Okay. Yeah.
Well, that was a good one. Look at all the flavor on that one.
Oh, yeah.
So you say A++ for nacho cheese Doritos. I think the first bite of a nacho cheese Dorito is sublime. It's so salty, so cheesy. The
So
MSG
good.
brings so much umami. The different additives are literally mouth-watering. They make me want to eat more. I think it's an A- snack for me. I think it's really good.
What?
Like an excellent snack, an A-. Because, and here's my thing, and you can get to your score in a second, I think that Cool Ranch Doritos are even better. I think they're an A+ snack. When I think of regular Doritos, I think of the blue bag and Cool Ranch. I know we have that in contrast. So I need to know, from sprinkles to Fun Dip, what do you think about Cool Ranch Doritos? Where would you rank them?
A-.
You would say A-. So I said A- for nacho cheese and A+ for Cool Ranch. And you said A- for Cool Ranch and A++ for nacho cheese Doritos. Interesting. Liz, we've got a bit of a snack down here. What do you think we're going to do? So first, we have to decide which one of these we like better.
I know which one I like better.
And I think we're up in the air, but the average of our scores, I think, gives it to nacho cheese, which is a shock to me. And I thought Cool Ranch was going to run away with this here. I think that all things considered, and we're going to get to this a lot over the course of the show, over the many seasons, when I want a snack, I usually want something that is crunchy and something that is salty. I want crunchy salt. If I was going to have a t-shirt for this show, it would say crunchy salt on it as you go back to the nacho cheese Doritos again. Unbelievable.
Actually,
When I want crunchy salt, I want Cool Ranch Doritos. I am known to go on a road trip and take a bag of Cool Ranch Doritos with me and set them on the passenger seat and polish the whole thing off while I'm in the car. They're that good.
I also think, though, we got a good pack of red ones this time.
We did get a great pack of red ones. These are delicious.
Because normally it depends on, like, the bag, too.
Yeah?
We got a pretty good bag this time, but normally we don't usually get, like, the greatest bag. So I might move it to just a regular A+.
I don't know if it's an A++ to you, it can be. It certainly can be. I wouldn't argue with that. In fact, what I would say is when we rank things on this show, when we give them their tier score, what we're saying is we're judging these snacks on how well they execute their concept. We are judging them against other snacks because this is a competition show. It's King of the Mountain style, but we're also judging them against themselves. How good are they as the version of the very best thing that they want to be? How well do they do the thing that they're trying to do?
This is an A++ then.
And that's an A++ to you, kid. So it looks like this week, the challenger that's going up against the reigning, defending, undisputed heavyweight champion of snacks is nacho cheese Doritos. So, against double stuff Oreos, do we think, as you crunch away into the microphone, this is fantastic radio, folks, do you think that nacho cheese Doritos can take the belt from double stuff Oreos?
Depends. Find out next on Junk Feud.
No, this is the show. We're doing it live. We're here now. This is it.
Should I go get them then?
No, you have to tell me what you think.
Well, I have to try it.
Liz, this is it. It's time.
Okay.
This is the showdown. This is the snack down. It's crunch time. We've hit the bliss point. We've done all the silly things that we say. We have to pick double stuff Oreos or nacho cheese Doritos.
I don't know. What do you pick?
Well, I'll tell you, I don't want to unduly influence your decision, but we have to agree on this because that's the show. I think that the double stuffed Dorito is the best. Oh my God, double stuffed Dorito. Could you imagine? It's probably not the first time I've said that either.
No,
I think that the double stuffed Oreo is the ultimate version of the Oreo cookie. I think it's the best possible version of all the things that Oreo tries to be. I think it is a supreme snack. I gave it an A+. You gave it an A+. Mm-hmm. You gave nacho cheese Doritos an A++, but I gave them an A-. The rankings don't determine the champion.
Let's do the double.
Oh, you're going to try one of each together. You look like a duck when you do that. It's like a duck bill. So what are we going to do? Is it double stuffed Doritos? Is it not? Oh my gosh, I said it again, double stuffed Doritos.
We should just
I think for one of these episodes, we're going to have to make some double stuffed Doritos. Is it double stuffed Oreos, the champion of snacks, or is it nacho cheese Doritos?
I say nacho ranch.
Nacho ranch Doritos? I don't know. That's not going to do it. What do you think? We're really building up to this too.
I think what would happen is if I went to the pantry and I saw a bag of Doritos and a box of Oreos right next to each other.
And you wanted a snack.
And I wanted a snack.
Which one would you pick?
I think I would go for the Oreos and milk.
I think that you're right. I think that if we would have picked Cool Ranch Doritos, it would have been a more difficult decision for me. But I am inclined to agree with you, and that's what makes this so difficult because these two snack foods are in entirely different segments and categories. We're getting into conversations about salty versus sweet, how we pick the things that we love, and who has to be kicked off of the mountain.
So sad.
And nacho cheese Doritos are out, and double stuffed Oreos reign supreme for a second week. They have successfully defended the title, but Liz.
Yeah.
Do you hear that? Do you hear that sound? No, not the crunch from the Doritos that you're still eating, unbelievably.
I need to stop. I'm, again, as you said, addiction.
Oh, they're really good. They're designed to do that. Liz.
What?
We have something unprecedented here on this show.
What?
In just the second episode, we have our first invocation of the Oreo rule because there's a new Oreo out. And we've had them. Neapolitan Oreos are here. They're back after an 11-year hiatus.
I don't like them.
Well, all right. Well, you're giving it away there. I like them quite a bit. There was a waffle cone flavored cookie. It had a hint of cinnamon to it. I thought they were crispy and delicious. The cream was a triple stack, which I think is too much, but it was a mix of the classic white Oreo cream, a darker kind of chocolate that was in the original chocolate Oreos, and then a strawberry cream as well. It was a lot. You couldn't do the regular twist off and have one side and then the other that I like to do because there was too much cream. But I thought that if you took that cookie and you pulled one out of the package and you took a big whiff of it, just the whole thing together, with the vaguely warmly spiced waffle cone cookie, the 3 different flavors of cream inside, if you get, and you're going back into the Dorito bag again, if you get a whiff of one of those cookies smell unmistakably like something that a smell that I adore, the Main Street ice cream parlor at Walt Disney World. The scent that they pump out of those things with the Smellitzer contraptions that they have on Main Street there.
Wait, pause for a second.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to edit all this out.
No.
Those cookies smell fantastic. They don't taste as good as they smell. They're very good. They're not good enough to unseat double stuffed Oreos.
Not at all.
I wouldn't take a Neapolitan Oreo over either of these bags of Doritos, especially not over my beloved Cool Ranch, with which I am just devastated.
Cool Ranch.
Devastated at the loss of. But that's it. The Oreo rule was invoked. Neapolitan Oreos are good, but not great. They smell better than they taste.
Don't like the strawberry.
You just didn't like the strawberry. You know what? Your mom didn't like them either. I thought they were fantastic, though. I would welcome them back. I have almost eaten the entire box. Speaking of boxes, guess what? Liz, it's time to check out the back of the box. It's a weekly segment where we play a little game. Would you like to play a game, Alyssa?
Yes, Daddy, I would love to play a game.
Oh, that's creepy. This week's segment is called Snack to the Future. We talked about Back to the Future earlier. Now we're going to do Snack to the Future. On Snack to the Future, we use some foresight tools to predict the future of snacks. Liz.
Yeah.
Doritos Locos Tacos, which we discussed earlier, are a combination of a Taco Bell taco and Doritos chips. What kinds of snack mashups with Doritos might we see 10 or 20 years into the future? What do you think? If you're going to take two different kinds of snacks, one of them's Doritos, one of them's something else, what do you think we might see like 10 or 20 years in the future from Doritos? We already talked about the potential for double stuffed Doritos, which we're going to try out. What else do you think you might see? Here's a way that we can try to answer this. 10 years in the future, how old will you be? Will you stop that?
17.
Oh, really? So you're 11, and 10 years in the future, you'll be 17.
20.
Yeah, and you'll still be in 6th grade, I think, at this rate.
21.
You'll be 21 years old. What kinds of foods do you think 21-year-olds like to go out and eat, pick up and snack on? Will you stop crunching into the microphone? My goodness. What do you think?
Candy.
Candy? You think 21-year-olds like to eat a lot of candy?
I'd go to a Wawa
Like go to a Wawa and pick up some candy.
in the middle of the night and just like snack.
Well, I think you probably have the middle of the night part right. I don't know that there are a lot of 21-year-olds that are going out of their way to eat candy, but let's just go with it and let's just say that when you're 21 in 10 years and you go to Wawa in the middle of the night, you want to see some type of candy mixed up with some type of Doritos. What would it be?
A Dorito flavored peanut.
Doritos flavored peanuts. I think that would be pretty good, like those Takis flavored peanuts that you saw.
That's what I was thinking of.
So you would take like the nacho cheese powder or the Cool Ranch powder. You would dust them all over the outside of some shelled cocktail style peanuts.
Like it will be regular and then like double.
Like double cheese.
Yeah.
That would be pretty good. I would probably eat some Cool Ranch peanuts.
Of course you would.
We'll have to check and see if there was something like this that existed yet. I don't know, but that's a great idea. I really like that. Hey, guess what?
What?
This podcast should reach you in excellent condition, satisfaction guaranteed or your money back. If you've got a question for us, you can write to the address on the label. That's junkfeudpod@gmail.com. Liz,
What?
we have some listener mail this week.
Really?
Sure. Our first letter comes in from Ella, who writes to us and says, "Hey, Junk Feudies, really love the show. Excited to hear what snacks you have coming up. I like to eat sugar-free snacks. What are some of your favorite low-sugar or sugar-free snacks?" Liz, what do you think about that?
You sure about that?
I'm sure about it. What are your favorite low-sugar or sugar-free snacks?
Those little mango rings.
Little mango rings? Oh, like the dried mango fruit rings? Well, those have a lot of sugar, actually.
Oh.
Try again.
Whipped cream.
Whipped cream out of a can? I think that probably has some sugar. It does it or does it not? No, you know what? I think it's just aerated cream, right? Maybe some vanilla flavoring?
How do you think Ella eats a whole can of it in a day?
Yeah, I think you're right. Whipped cream is a great low sugar snack, like low carb, low sugar kind of snack. You know what I like a lot?
What?
Just a very simple crudité.
What's that?
Like raw vegetables cut up, celery, carrots, peppers.
Yeah, but if you want to have it with a ranch.
Yeah, ranch dressings probably have a fair amount of sugar. Our Cool Ranch Doritos have probably more sugar than you would imagine in them.
Yeah.
But they taste good. I'm good with just some carrots and ranch every now and then.
The total sugars is 1 gram.
about 3 grams in the whole bag.
3 grams.
Yeah, that's
1 gram per serve.
probably more than you should have on a tortilla chip, I would imagine.
Yeah, probably.
So you would go with a whole can of whipped cream?
Yeah.
Just like Aunt Debbie, just turn it upside down, spray the whole thing in your mouth. Yeah, that's pretty good. Well, that was a listener question from listener mail. Liz,
Yeah.
this podcast has contained your recommended daily allowance of fun.
Fun!
For more, go to Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, wherever you choose to be social. Find us at Junk Feud Pod. Stream with us on Twitch. Watch fun-sized snack reviews on YouTube. Buy merch on TeePublic. Find us on Patreon at Junk Feud Pod for exclusive bites. Catch all the snaction each and every week wherever you listen to podcasts. Until we see you again, for Alyssa, I'm Mike.
Hasta lasagna!
Don't get any on you.
Bye! That was my best part.